Major Allen Houston here. Today, I'm going to do something very, very special. And first, I want to say is this. Everyone who knows me very well know how much my family means to me. This is my family. These are the reasons why I live, and these are the reasons why I breathe. But in the middle of all this chaos right here is a man that I've looked up to my whole entire life, and that is my dad, Melvin Lewis Houston Sr. That man right there. I want to do something really special for my dad in honor of Father's Day. And what I wanted to do was share a childhood memory with all of you about myself and my dad. My youngest brother Matthew has always said, out of all of us, that I was the sibling that always remembered everything in greater detail. And that is true. I just remember as a little boy, not long after we moved to Midland in October of 1968, always wanting to be around my dad. I wanted to do everything just like my dad. I remember standing in the bathroom with him as he was getting ready for work. I would watch him brush his teeth. I would watch him shave. And I would say to myself, when I grow up, I'm going to do that just like my daddy. So I always considered myself a daddy's boy. Well, of course, when I got older, there was one thing I was definitely going to do just like my daddy. And that was listen to and enjoy the same type of music as he did. The memory I want to share with you is not long after we moved to Midland. I remember my brother Miles and I playing in our front bedroom, and we were rummaging through the closet. I came across my mother's record player in the closet. I saw a slot of albums next to the record player, and I went through the slot of albums, and I picked out the first one that caught my eye. I picked up this album and I put the album on the record player. I had my daddy come in and turn on the record player for me. And I remembered I stared at the cover of the album. And it had 4 guys on it. And I remember saying to myself when I saw these 4 guys on the cover, I said, these guys are cute. I hadn't learned how to start the album with the first song by placing a needle on the first song. So I just dropped the needle onto the record. And this was the first song I ever heard off that album. Take a listen and tell me if you know who this is. I still repeat it, Ronnie, 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 oh. Ronnie, 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 I'll go on living and keep on forgiving because you were my first love. I'll go on living and keep on forgiving because That moment was almost 50 years ago, and I still remember it like it was yesterday. From that point on, I was hooked to the voices of Bob Gaudio, Tommy DeVito, Nick Massey, and Frankie Valli, which the whole world knew as the Four Seasons. And this was that album. The Four Seasons Gold Vault of Hits. This was the very first album I ever played in my whole entire life. And boy, did I wear this album out. There were many lead singers that I always wanted to sound like, but there were two in particular, and that was Diana Ross from the Supremes and Frankie Valli from the Four Seasons. My dad listened to other artists as well, and so did I. But it was the Four Seasons that stuck out over everyone else. And since my daddy loved the Four Seasons, I love the Four Seasons. And the Four Seasons became my all-time favorite male vocal group. So, Daddy, in honor of you and Father's Day, I'm going to take you back. I'm going to take you back to a song that I remember as a little boy you always singing along to whenever it was played. So, Daddy, I hope you remember this just like I do. This is to you, Daddy.
There ain't no good in our goodbye. True love takes a lot of trying. Oh, I'm crying.
Yeah!
Let's hang on to what we got. Don't let go, girl, we got a lot. Got a lot of love between us. Hang on, hang on, hang on to what we got. You say you're gonna go and call it quits. Gonna chuck it all and break all of the bits. Breaking up. I wish you never said. Breaking up. No, no, we'll both regret it. That little chip was diamond on your hand. Mean I'm want you, baby, but you know it stands for the love. For love you try and buy. Such
There's one last thing I need to say. With me being a proud, very, very proud American gay man, I have always considered myself to be very lucky to have the type of dad that I have had. There's always been one constant thing in my life, and that is having the unconditional love, support, and respect that I've been given by my dad. And the prime example of that is this. A few years ago, my dad and I were in one of our phone conversations. And my dad asked me, "Son, is there anyone special in your life? Are you seeing anyone?" And at the time, I was. And I said, "Yes, Daddy, there is someone special in my life, and you will get to meet him very soon." My happiness and my well-being were just as important to him as it was to me. And I will never, ever forget that. So, Daddy, I just want to say thank you for being the daddy and the father that you've always been to me and all of us. Thank you for your love and leadership, the mentoring of all the students that you've taught and coached through your years of coaching in Midland, El Paso, and Lubbock. As you see, the shirt that I'm wearing is in your honor as well for your 30 plus years with the Lubbock Independent School District at both Lubbock Coronado and Monterey High Schools as their girls track and cross country coach. Thank you, Daddy, for everything you've ever done for all of us. Happy Father's Day, Daddy. And I love you very much. And to tell you that I am still that daddy's boy. I love you, Daddy.